What I'm supposed to do here.
Really? Let's see. December than January, you know, and we actually did something crazy as a company. And from October to November, we stayed flat, and that was huge. And then December, you know, most took a hit. That's the fact. And now if you just joined, you're on here, you're like, what? I signed up 52 customers. Heck yeah, you did. You know, Stacy and we went diamond in, I think, October and November. I don't know. You know, it was all September, October, November. My mom, Kathy, at East, December, January. You know, we had just joined, and that was our just flying high. But if you've been in it over a year, it was a little hard. Like, who could say maybe it was a little, December's a little rough, you know. But that's just how it is. That's how it is in health and wellness when you're selling products and all of a sudden everyone's eating sugar cookies and buying Christmas gifts. But that's okay, because what happens come January? Everyone's ready to lose the 10 pounds they gained over winter. They're ready to set new goals. They're ready to get out of debt from putting Christmas on credit cards. And this is our time, baby. So you know what? The thing is, I love the new year because now we're getting ready. We start to see a little lift in January. Boom. February comes, March, April. You're like, this is a whole nother level. I've watched my volume, you know, multiple years double in the spring, literally double. Imagine what was your volume and watching it double the next year. And that's just how this business goes. It's the cycles. And you know, it's not for the faint of heart always. But what I love is December is such a planting season. And I'm going to share something on our Diamond Zoom, which we have Thursday. Like, what night of the week is it? Thursday. But I even love Chelsea Gilbert. She's, you know, she shared and said she'll never forget on her time hop, it popped up her dream board. And last year she talked about, you know, she was a triple diamond, barely holding on, and it was the lowest her volume had ever been. And, you know, just thinking she'd only signed one distributor in October, one in November, and one in December, one distributor each month. And she was just like, what's going on with my business? And came January, guess what? She'd been planting seeds all winter. She signed 17 distributors that January and was presidential diamond by, I think it was March. And so it's crazy what can happen. So what I'll say to you is, we got through December, and hopefully you've been planting seeds. If you haven't been planting seeds, start now. You can start now. Hopefully October, November, December, you've been planting, and maybe you're like me. I've been planting, and I have not been happy with my enrollments. As an ambassador diamond, I've not been happy, but I've been planting, and I have a long list of potentials if they all join, you know, and those seeds, they do produce fruit. And so just know that, and know that you can start planting today. And last month is last month. This is a brand new month, and it's a brand new year. And sky's the limit.
Yeah, you know, I think one thing we've learned, you know, 3.5 years is, I guess one thing that breaks our heart is to see people make a decision based on emotion during these last 3 months. And man, has it happened time and time and time again. If you want full transparency, the people we enrolled with, they actually took a deal to switch companies during this time out of fear.
Yeah.
And a little known fact is they would have waited 1 more month. They would have been back to Presidential Diamond making 5 figures a month, but they stopped. They quit out of fear and out of emotion. I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. I'm just trying to say, like, they're not the only ones that we've seen. And I think that if you're one of those people who are like this close on the verge of, am I really going to do this in 2018? If we could, it wouldn't do any good, because you have to make the decision in your mind to hit 2018 hard. But if I could, I would beg you to say, give it 3 more months, give it 6 more months, and then think about it. Because what you're coming up on, it's kind of like a football game that you've gone 90 yards of just running the ball and getting knocked down, but you're moving forward every day. You're moving forward. And now you're in the red zone. Like now you're 20 yards, 10 yards, some of you 2 yards from that goal line. And all you have to do is commit to starting off this year strong. And I'll tell you, like me and Sherry, we have to make that same commitment every year. Like I know a lot of people have this illusion when you hit ambassador that it's just all, sunshine and just be every January 1st since we started this business, we've said, man, this is the time. This is the season. Honestly, what we're coming up on, like we are so excited because this is what we worked for. Like this is like the sweet time. This is like the icing on the cake time. And it just blows my mind when people are this close, 3 feet from gold or whatever you want to call it, and they don't stick with it. And so I'm telling you, and we've had a piece like all throughout this fall that something great is about to happen within this team. And I really hope you're one of the people that stick it out and see the greatness that God has for this team going into next year, because I know it's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. It's a difference between a short-term and a long-term mentality. If you have a short-term mentality and things get rough, you're going to quit. If you have a long-term mentality and say, man, I'm going to invest because in the long scheme of things, I'm going to be in such a better place if I don't quit. It does. I mean, me and Stacy have those talks all the time. Don't quit. You keep moving forward. And, but you have to believe it in yourself. I know one of the things, John and Sherry, that you guys are phenomenal at is setting a vision or setting a target and going for it. And it's not just in words, it's also in deeds. In 2018, starting the new year off, talk to us a little bit about what does it mean to set a vision? How do you do it practically so that we can set a target and a vision? Because I know this, if you don't have an end destination, you're never going to get there. If you don't have a target, you're never going to hit the mark. And so having a goal, having a vision is important. Can you talk to us a little bit from your perspective on how do y'all do that moving forward?
Yeah, well, you kind of said it, Joey, when you said, you have to believe it. And I always say you've got to see it, you have to believe it, pray for it, work for it. So the first 2, and that's literally like the 4 things of why I think I've been successful with this business. So the first thing is you have to see it. And so I think that's where dream boards come into play. And I have like ultimate like big dream boards, but then I love doing like a yearly dream board, and sometimes I shoot a little too low, and I found one of my first dream boards, putting that I wanted to be triple diamond, and then I remember thinking how cool was that I ended up going presidential, so I've had ones where I've surpassed it. I've had dream boards 2015, I looked at that dream board, and in 2016, I accomplished every single thing off of it. That was so cool to see. Last year, I saw my dream board, and I probably accomplished 80% of it. So there were things I looked at, and I was like, oh, okay, I missed that. But imagine had I not had that, had those goals. And so I think you have to pray, and then I think you have to write out, what do you want this year? Because I say it, especially if you're a diamond, you've heard it, you will never accidentally promote. Yeah. You never like, oh, whoa, I'm Ruby, cool. Oh, I just went diamond. Yes, I'm ambassador. That just doesn't happen. You have a roadmap. You have a game plan. And so when you have those things written out, you've planned it in your head, your mind starts to even believe it. So you start to operate differently. It really is a whole neurological thing that I don't even completely understand, but there's something where and so your mind starts coming up with plans. Okay, yeah, I'm going double diamond. Like, what's my plan? Oh, I'm going to act like a double. I'm going to do things like a double diamond. When you're like defeated, oh, I won't be good at this business. I won't sign. You're right, you won't. But when you write those things on there, it's crazy. And I hear time and time again, people say like, and you don't just write your dream board, then forget about it. You have it, like mine sat in my office where I looked at it every day, So I had my yearly dream board, and then on my mirror in the bathroom, I had my monthly goals, But it's just when you have that vision, you have something to strive for. Yeah. And I think it holds you accountable. And I don't like you to have it private. I want you to post it. Post it, on our team page. Post it on your Facebook page. Why? Because then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh. I just posted this publicly. Okay, people know I'm going for diamond, and I just think that does something huge, and not just for your business, for your life, for your family, spiritually, where you want to go. Like if I didn't put last year that I wanted to go to Disney World and take the girls, we wouldn't have gone. But because it was on there, I knew like, I've got to figure out how to make it. I've got to save enough money. I've got to figure out to make this because I want to take my girls there. And it became a priority. Something as silly as that, but you've got to do that.
Yeah. I think, we learned to do that in this business. I think you've heard us say it before, like before It Works, we were in ministry and like we spent years teaching and telling other people, you've got to dream bigger for your life. And you've got to understand God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And Jeremiah 29:11. And man, like, I spoke every week, like Joe, you heard, Stacy, you heard, I could preach that message. Like I could preach it stinking good. But it's one thing to preach it. It's a whole different ideal and idea to do it day in and day out. And I mean, even yesterday I got we have 2 dry erase markers in our bathroom. We always talk about that. On the mirror, I wrote, January, I wrote 2 through 30 all the way down the mirror. And I realized like I got to where I was only working out like once every week. And so I literally put every day of the week. And today I woke up at 5 a.m. I got in the gym, and guess what I did right before I got on the Zoom? I went in there and I checked off that one day, and I will do that through the rest of the month. So whether it's a fitness goal, whether it's your business, like you have to stare it in the face every day, or you will allow yourself to kind of ignore really that there's something bigger out there for you. It's easy to kind of just go through the motions when you don't have accountability. Well, when you don't have good people around you who are holding you accountable, guess who it's on? It's on you. It's on you to make that dream board. It's on you to have it on your mirror. It's on you to, like me and Sherry, we now see ourselves, with multiple streams of income. We now see ourselves, going Ambassador 2.0. We now see ourselves as Black Diamond. We now see ourselves writing $1 million check. But it didn't become that way, like in a week or a month. It's an everyday commitment to casting the vision for your life, for your family. And we talk about it. We talk about, man, what is it going to be like next year when we give away 6 figures? What is it going to be like one day when we can write $1 million check to a cause we believe in? And because we speak it, and because we talk about it, and because we keep it at the forefront of our minds, like we realize we got to go to work every day to make it happen. Like it's not just going to happen, like Sherry said.
Yeah, I love that. I can always hear Sherry saying, I didn't really know how to dream until I was a part of this business. And so I think that's a cool point. Sherry, what's like some stuff that was on maybe your first dream board, and now what's some stuff on your board? Like hearing that can almost make any of us uncomfortable, but it's good to hear and it's good to speak out. So why don't you share some practical, what those look like?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, writing, that I wanted, 3 to go triple diamond. I remember I have that dream board. I should post it, putting that I wanted to have 5, personally enrolled diamonds under me. Things that, I mean, and that's probably like a triple diamond. I think on that, Disneyland was on that dream board. I really wanted to go to Disneyland to take our girls there, and we did that. That was our first year in the business. I put that I wanted to be in the top 75, and I ended up, doing that, and just, crazy things. And I tell you, I think one of the things that always blows my mind is I think people just look at us sometimes and think, oh, and especially if you've joined, you've only maybe ever seen us as your ambassadors. You've only seen us as maybe a presidential and an ambassador. But we joined the business, you guys, and it was the end of June. And I always talk about it, but and I remember flying to conference with Stacy. So I joined the end of June. We're going to conference in February. So June, July, August, I don't know, or January, 6-7 months later, we're going to conference. I am barely double diamond, like barely. Stacy's barely diamond. I'm pretty sure we both transferred to maintain that January, or whatever. So it's like going to conference, us staring at charts and me thinking, we're never going to go past diamond and double. Like, it's impossible. And like, I'm pretty much a believer normally, but I remember thinking, like, we're doomed. Like, I was looking at Leg that quit, joined another, selling another company, and I just remember thinking, like, and almost being mad. It's like, gosh, but then now looking at where we're at, but I yet remember thinking I had a hopeless double diamond chart, and it just goes to show when you don't stop, it's like little by little. And no, I didn't blink and was ambassador, but all of a sudden it was like, okay, we got back, and I don't ever really remember our timelines, but by the end of that January, we were healthy diamond and double. By that February, I think we maybe promoted. I don't know. Yeah. The next month promoted. Was it? Okay. So
we promoted in February. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next month it seemed impossible. The next month I went triple, and it was getting to conference. Like, that did so much. But so, yeah, I think you have those little things, and then they become bigger, and they get bigger, and that's okay. And you're like, well, right now my goal is just to go Ruby. Awesome. Write it down, blow yourself away, go Ruby, and then I remember looking at a diamond chart and going, why did I just look at this? No one truly goes diamond. Like, this is an impossible joke. No wonder there's a bonus with this. It's a sick joke. And remember thinking that. And now I think at how many times, there have been diamonds on my chart. And so you take it one step at a time, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I think you need to understand, there's a beauty in every chapter of this business. And when I say chapter, I think of every year being a chapter. So our team is looking at, you're reading our three, we're halfway through our third chapter. And I think that a lot of people look at our, third chapter and you're like, wow, they got it going on. One, that's not very many chapters when you think about a book. But number two, I think that, where are you in your chapter? And there's a beauty in that chapter, and you don't realize it at the time. I always say to new people coming on our team that we personally enrolled, you are so much better off with us now than you would have been 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Why? Because
I was scaring them away.
Yeah, Sherry,
I was too hard on everyone. They were quitting left and right.
Sherry thought everyone wanted to be black diamond in 30 days, and was cracking that whip. And
they're like, I'm out.
But all that to say, whatever chapter you're in, whether you're flying high right now or you're not, there's a beauty in it if you will understand that you're learning something. Both ways. You're learning something when your business is taking off, and you're learning how to really celebrate those times. You're learning when you're reaching out, you're being faithful, and you're picking up one here or there. You're learning in that December where you realize there's cycles in this business. There's a beauty in every season. And if you will focus on every chapter and the beauty that's within, it makes the journey a whole lot more fun, and it makes it a whole lot more enjoyable. And you're a better leader for it. And so Sherry's first dream was $500 to put our kids in dance. That's where it started, $500. And we have probably thousands on our team making more than $500 at this point a month, but that's where it started. And look where it is just 3.5 years later. And it can be the same for you if you'll just put in the time, put in the effort, and really go after it.
Yeah, I think it's so important to kind of know your why. And your why isn't necessarily amount of money. That's the result of what you did, but the why is why you do it, And I just think, and writing it down, there's all this research on how much more you're guaranteed for something to happen if it's written down. And that's part of the challenge of writing it down. And I know for me, what you said with the check marks on your mirror, we want to pay off our house in 2008. 18, you know, and I look at that every day in the mirror and I'm like, I better get to work. You know, I want to, and, you know, and it keeps me accountable. Going ambassador, taking some of the things on ours is to take our family on a missions trip so our girls can experience that side of life and see, you know, what they do get. And that makes me excited to, you know, to get to do. But I read this quote today and I just wanted to share it. It says, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. And I just think that, so you have your dream, then it becomes a goal, and then you have your plan, and then you put it into action. And so what is kind of like a game, coming up with a game plan? What would that look like? Or what's the importance of that right now and putting that into action?
I mean, I would say that it starts with so, you know, I know of the, 90 people on here, there's going to be a broad, you know, range of ranks. But I think regardless, it comes up with, you know, you've got like if you just joined, it's your steps to success. So you just joined, you want those 4 customers and those 3 distributors, and you write it down. It's why they say print the steps to success, because in your head you might think, okay, steps to success, I need 4 customers, 3 distributors. But if you print it and you look at it with blanks to fill out, I need to write 4 names to be my customers, I need to write 3 names to be my distributors, you're more likely to do it. Jocelyn Yates literally has a binder this thick. And every month, she's never not completed her steps to success because she prints it and she stares at it all month and then she does it, you know? And so I think it's figuring out what is your goal. So that's if you just join. But maybe someone's on here and they're like, well, I was a Ruby, but I was paid executive last month, or, you know, I was paid distributor. I don't know my goal. What is your goal? Get your chart out. Every one of us should have a chart. If you just joined, have your executive chart, you know, or look at step 2, your Ruby chart. I feel like everyone could have a Ruby chart, and that is your plan. You need 3 distributors right under you, and one of them needs 2, and then we need to teach every one of them to what? Do their steps to success, get their 4 customers, and then 3 distributors. Like, so I think no matter what you're doing, you have to have a chart in front of you with like that roadmap, that game plan, because otherwise you can just be lost in this business because you're like, well, what am I doing? I'm posting about keto coffee and the cleanse, but like maybe you need to not be posting about keto coffee and the cleanse because you need to grow your team and you need to post something that's, you know, more distributor driven, and then get out your hundreds list and ask some people to join your team, you know? So to me, it's like you want to see, that goal come to pass. Well, you have to have the action steps. So you've got to have that chart, know that you're working towards your steps of success. We're not just paid to post, you know, and have that game plan. Like that's what I say. So you can't look at your rank even as your game plan. Maybe your lifetime rank is this, but that's not where you are. A leg crumbled or someone quit or, you know, whatever. So look at where you're at. And sometimes it just means fresh Ruby start, you know, and you've got 1 name in a box. That's okay. That's what you do.
Yeah. What does, saying all that then, Sherry, like what is, you've asked this lots of times and I know days look different, but what are your non-negotiables?
I mean, I think we're not, oh, go ahead.
I can say, because, you know, 1, we're family, so we see each other more often than anyone, because we're in that. So I can vouch for the day to day. Like, I know you work your business every day. There's not a break, you know. I can even remember in the beginning coming for Thanksgiving dinner and getting a text saying, don't talk about it, works at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, John will kill me.
That was the first year.
We can't talk about it, works. Yeah, John will divorce me. Yeah, or New Year's Eve. I remember I was hiding in my closet and someone came in and I was like, oh, I thought it was John. You know. But yeah, to me, the non-negotiables are this business. When people tell me like, I'm so overwhelmed in this business, like I don't know what to do, I get it. Like I've been there before, but you really shouldn't be. Shame on you for just not having a little discipline, because I'm telling you, you truly can go diamond in this business by giving it an intentional hour a day or hour and a half, you know, maybe 30 minutes somewhere to figure out what are your posts, you know, shoot some messages out at the last part of the day and answer some questions. And the next day you'll get some, so it's like, what are the things you need to do? Well, you need to show your stores open. So I show my stores open by wearing my gear, putting something up on Facebook. I don't think you have to post 100 times a day, But I think if you're not posting, then people don't know what you have. So when I first joined, I used to think like I posted way more than I do now due to algorithms. But now I really think I want to post about a product every day. I want to post about something not at works related, like, or it might slide it in there with my kids, then something that has to do with the business. But the business might be me and my girls getting our nails done and me saying I'm thankful that this is my office. But I like having a range. That way I'm not at work spamming. So 3 has kind of become my lucky number. And then I do some Insta stories. I don't think it really matters how many of those you do, but I like to post about a product, post about the business, something kind of maybe an inspirational quote or, whatever, something not businessy. So it's like I show my stores open. And then so that's like step 1. And then I want to grow my network. So I'm always trying to add people on Facebook, Instagram. And for me, I can't say I add 200 people every day because I don't. There's days I have been blocked from adding because I add so many. There's days it's like I just added 5 new people, but I expanded my network. So I always try to just expand it. Add a couple Facebook friends. And what I'll do is I'll go to a friend that doesn't sell It Works. I'll click her friends list and I click suggested friends. That way we have mutual friends in common. And I've only ever got one message of, hey, how do I know you? Because I'm not like adding weird, just cold message people, which you could do that too, like strangers, but I add like a friend where we've got 5 mutual friends. Perfect. Add. And then I ask people to join my team. So I might send messages on Facebook. I grew my business probably to ambassador with warm friends of friend market. So when people talk cold market, that's something I've started more maybe with like my 2.0 a little bit. But even then, a diamond leader on my 2.0, Jen, Kate was like a friend of a friend, mutual, like we had mutual friends. So it wasn't really cold market. So I took advantage of my warm market. So I don't want to ramble too long, but don't be scared to do that. Like, print your Facebook friends list, message the people you went to high school with, message those acquaintances on Facebook. I know it's easier to message strangers than people but sometimes those people you already have that relationship, so there's a little bit of trust. And so sometimes, and I've heard someone say, oh, well, my warm market has said no. Well, you did not ask your whole warm market. Just because you asked your sister and 2 of your friends and your mom, that's not your whole warm market.
Yeah, but wait for a second.
Okay.
How much of your warm market told you no at first?
That's true. Stacy told me no for for weeks. Esty told me no for like 2 years. I don't know, a year. Yeah, my mom told me no. So yeah, my warm market told me no, but I still kept asking. And then I was excited about it. Esty said for 1 year, she told me no. Yeah, like I could think of Krista said no for 6 months. There are a few that jumped at the beginning, but yeah, the majority said no for a long time and then came. And then some said no and then said yes and then quit on me 3 months later. Guess what? It's going to happen. Not everyone has what it takes. Not everyone has that grit, that willingness, because mediocrity is easier. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying if you're not doing this business, you're mediocre, but I'm saying anything you want to do in life. It's easier to just play it safe. It's easier just to stay where you're at in life and do that and not dream big and not take risks. That's why that many people are CEOs. That many people step out, start their own companies. That many people make these big discoveries. It's just, we were watching the Barnum, The Greatest Showman. And when you're talking about from Barnum and Bailey Circus, Barnum, it's like when I saw him at the beginning, he came from nothing, but he had this drive. And I was like, John, those are the kind of people. That's like a guy I know, David Arrington, who's an oil company owner. I'm like, he's like a David Arrington. That's like a Mark Pentecost. I want to be one of those people. They're the people that don't just like settle for the average, And so anyway, so you ask people to join. So you show your stores open, expand your network, ask people to join. You can ask them with wrap parties. You can ask them by messaging. You can ask them by sitting and talking to a mom at dance class, sharing the business with her. It's getting the word out. So if you're not telling people about the business, then you're not asking people, then you're not going to sign people.
Yeah.
That's really good. Talk briefly, John, about what it is that holds people back from dreaming big, and what's the difference between, because I know everything came really easy for you and John, you and Sherry. Like people just flocked to you guys. Like it just happened. Actually, I know how hard you work, and you're consistent. But what turned you in? It turned the corner to actual becoming a dreamer. And actually, setting, like, what did you allow not to hold you back?
Yeah, I mean, I think for each of us, you know, I think each of us is going to struggle with pride. I think we are a society who, whether it's this business or the clothes we're wearing or our workplace or where our kids go to school or what kind of house you're in, we are a society who is obsessed with what people think about us. And I think the breaking point for me and Sherilynn were that, I work a corporate job and it is easier. Like I could go in to tomorrow and I could say, you know what, I'm just going to suck today. And you know what? I would still get that same paycheck. The same paycheck, I would still get it for being a horrible employee for a day. And I could do that for probably a week. And guess what? Every 2 weeks, I'm going to get that same paycheck. And I think a lot of people in this world, they would rather have the comfort of knowing that they can put minimum effort for a consistent dollar amount rather than understanding that if you go to work and if you believe that there's something greater for you and you utilize a business like this that you can start for absolutely nothing, you can actually increase your check in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months. And I think that was the thing that was the switch for me. It's I could kill it for an entire year, but my paycheck is dependent on my firm doing good. My paycheck is dependent on my boss liking me, or my paycheck is dependent on, me beating this benchmark or whatever, versus a business like this to where we can say, you know what we put in, we will reap out of it. And not only that, we bring people along with us. And so what I would encourage you to do is make the decision in this business to stop really settling for the ordinary and the mundane of what society has told you is normal and acceptable. Just because it's comfortable for them, don't let them put that lid on you. Just because it's okay for their situation doesn't mean it has to be what your situation is. Like, we did everything right. We both went to college. We got our degrees. I work a good job. Sherry was a stay-at-home mom. She could have went and worked whenever she wanted. I mean, obviously, you see what she's done in this business. We could have done that. But when you understand the power of the fact is that you don't have to think like everyone else does anymore. Like, you can think bigger than, I'm going to go to work 8 to 5. I'm going to put a little in my 401k. I'm going to put a little in my kids' college fund, and I'm going to pay my bills. And that's what my life's going to be for the next 65 years until I get retirement. Like, now at 34 years old, it's like, I'm not just going to pay off the house we're living in now. Like, I'm going to pay off the next house, and I'm going to do it by the time I'm 40. And then by that time, like, I never thought like that until I broke my pride and said, it's okay for me to be unlike other people. It's okay for me to think differently than what, the generation that went before me told me. Like, honestly, if you're a millennial, you got truly fed a bunch of bull crap that if you went to college and got 6 figures in debt, there's going to be a good job waiting for you. So you can believe that, or you can take an opportunity like this and you can literally not have to go into an office if you don't want to, and dream bigger and have more. It just takes work ethic versus the comfort of, well, I can get away with doing little of anything, but I'm still going to have that paycheck. So it's a mentality. What's your mentality? How you're approaching this year? I choose, and we choose, to give it a little bit more every day. We choose to reach out a little bit more every day. We choose to pour into our team a little bit more every day. We choose to stay up a little bit longer, a little more every day, knowing that there's just something bigger out there for us than what society says is normal. I don't want to be normal. We weren't called to be normal. So if they're saying, well, that's not normal, you're probably in the right place at the right time. But can you overcome your pride to pursue what the Lord has for you? And that's really like what we've had to decide is we don't care anymore because we realize there's something better for us than what's normal.
Wow.
I love that. It reminds me of something I read in Miracle Morning. And it was just people, your close circle might not understand what you're doing, but most of it could be because you being successful challenges them to be out of their comfort zone, and they don't want to accept that challenge. So they want to shut you down before they feel uncomfortable by it and to start thinking they could do something more. And so it's kind of cool to think like in the midst of this, we're getting to pioneer a whole different mindset that is just beyond, what the average quota is.
We let other people's insecurity make us insecure.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at other people who are insecure and say, man, I wish they would understand what the Lord has in store for them and go after what God has in store for us.
I love that.
That's so good.
I love that. We had some of our leaders ask some questions, knowing that you guys were going to be just sharing tonight. And I love some of these. One of them just said, right now there seems to be, which is awesome. They just unrolled this incredible, whole fit, kind of mentality movement that's going on. Where do we focus on in the midst of this? Like, I know you guys have shared a little bit about it, but some people, they were in the holidays and now they're ready to go and focus. So like, where should everybody be focusing right now?
To me, one huge thing you focus on right now is we have at our fingertips better than a BOGO. We have joined for $99 to become a distributor. You get your free box of wraps and your 4-mini defining gel and your fab wrap, like always. But now you're also going to get another body wrap, 5 of the keto coffees, 5 of the greens on the go, an entire stinking cleanse, which is huge. Let's see, a wrap, greens, keto coffee, cleanse. Is there any? And a defining gel and another defining gel. So you're getting 5 of the top things. So like you're literally getting like $250 worth of product for $99. Like that is huge. We should be screaming that from the rooftops. Anyone that's asked you about trying even, a cleanse, offer them the business and they're going to get a free cleanse and a free, whatever. Like, I love that. So to me, that's number one right now. I'm focusing on just the deal we have right now. Join. You're going to get our free new sample Fit 5 pack that's incredible, plus the normal box of wraps, nothing to lose. Like, that's huge. And then I love the new Fit packs. We've been begging for packs that have keto coffee in the shake and, in the cleanse. Like, we've been wanting all these packs. So what if someone just wants to try some of the keto coffee, not the whole bag? The Fit 5 is so cool for $49, and it's 25 BV. They're getting the wraps and some keto, and all that. Like, I love that. Anyone that's asked me about trying the cleanse, guess what? You can try the cleanse right now. Get a free wrap, free coffee, free greens on the go, free defining gel with it. So like, to me, that's huge. And then the Fit app's awesome. They're working out kinks and glitches. It's not the end of the world. Like, what does the Fit app have to do with you signing customers? Nothing. The Fit app isn't going to sign you customers. It's going to be awesome to keep loyal customer retention. So the people that are kind of like freaking out about the Fit app, I'm like, go sign some customers and stop freaking out about your app that you can't spin your wheel yet. It's going to be really awesome when they fix it out. But to me, we've been like wanting something with It Works where we can have retention. And our Fit community page, our Diamond Empire, our Fit community page, we almost started in November a VIP loyal customer page for the whole team, and it didn't quite get taken off, so we switched it to this. We didn't get it fully loaded and go. So this is going to be a page where we can share recipes. It's not for you distributors. I mean, it is for you distributors, but like not to ask business questions. That's on Diamond Empire. But this is a page where, yes, you can ask questions about workouts, and I want recipes, and I want inspiration. If there's sales, we're going to share sales. Let's highlight a product. Today I tried posting who's using the cleanse today. But that, you can add your loyal customers on it. Like, I want to keep our customers. Don't want them ordering 3 months and quitting. So I'm hoping with this Fit app, as soon as everything's fixed, they're going to get workouts on there. They're going to get recipes on there. They're going to get to spin the wheel for Fit coins. And our loyal customers have that. Plus our loyal customers have a community page. So that's awesome. I hope that helps retain. But what you should be doing right now is signing people with the free Fit 5 you get, plus the new packs. And then reach out to all your loyal customers that aren't ordering and say, hey, we have this new page where you're going to get access to stuff, plus an app. And all those loyal customers, I have loyal customers that I've added on the Fit community page, and I've gotten to download the app that hadn't been ordering. So this is my hope to get them. So that's kind of my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're wondering, what do you say to the people to reach out to? We actually have a post. Kelly posted it with sample messages to use for this to close the deal. This is the perfect follow-up or the perfect lead. If you've been scared to ask somebody, you go, hey, I've been scared to ask you, but this deal is so awesome. I have to tell you about it. Are you open to hearing more? And then boom, go right into it. But use this as the bait in a sense, you know, to get this going. John, do you have something to add to that?
Well, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I just want to like say it from a team, you know, to the whole team. It's like, you know, the fit community is going to be amazing. Like, and the fit app is going to be amazing, but you should not be expending too much energy with this app right now, because conference is less than like 30 days away. And adding 1,000 people to an app or a fit community group is not going to help you hit whatever promotions they come out in February. What is going to help you is this $9.99 distributor pack with the Fit 5. Like, I can't even tell you, like Sherry said it, but the app will get worked on and better, and it will be awesome. And you can spin your little wheel as many times, you know, one time a day for the rest of your life if you want. But I'm telling you, like, the deal we have to get new distributors, there's millions of dollars out there in gift cards that people got. There's cash that people got for Christmas. There's all this money that people want to know what in the world to do with. And they're basically getting $250 of stuff to just join this business. That's what me and Sherry have been focusing on. Yes, we've looked at the fit community. We've got our app, but we're not sitting around, you know, getting people downloading an app. We are signing and trying to sign as many as we can, because we're getting ready for the next thing that comes, you know, February.
And I've yet to go to a conference where big old bonuses aren't announced. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I've yet to go to a conference where it doesn't get bigger and better. So expect awesomeness.
So put your energy in that. And the app's just going to get better and better. And if you're not comfortable with the app, I wouldn't be having anyone download it until you're comfortable with the app. You know, it's
going to help with retention in the future, which is what we need. And that's awesome.
Yeah. There's a really good question here that I wanted to ask you guys is, how do you lead your people during this season? I think one of the things that you both are really good at is working with your leaders. And, but what does that look like? I heard a quote, and you guys are amazing at this. We should work on changing ourselves before we try to improve others. Mm-hmm. And something that y'all are constantly doing is improving yourself and then letting that change others. So talk a little bit about how you lead your leaders in this season right now, and lead your team moving forward.
You know, I'll say that it's hard because, and there's times I'll talk to John because I'll be like, man, so-and-so, they were on my team. Now I see them, you know, maybe they stopped and now they joined another company, and man, they're like doing great over there. What, you know, why couldn't they have done great here? Like, did I do something wrong, or, you know, what was it? And I do think there's that part, you know, that Cammie talks about. You're going to have people join you that they're going to do awesome regardless, you know. Like, I'm looking at some names, like, you know, like Melissa Dean joined, Billy joined, like it didn't matter if I was Joe Blow or if I was Stephanie Dunn, like they signed up, they're determined, they're going to go rock it out, you know, and go diamond and whatever. And then you've got people, and I think no matter what you do, they're going to quit. They're going to sign and they're going to quit. And you're like, why did you just join? I don't know, but you did. Okay. You know, and now you're ignoring me. And I think I got blocked recently.
I didn't.
Oh, but yeah, you know, it's like, okay, whatever. I mean, you join me, but block me. And that's going to happen. And then you've got that 80%. And so I'm not perfect at it. You know, it's hard with the big team. But I think that just having that relationship, and that's like my goal, you know, and so if you're on here and you're a Ruby, you've got those 3 distributors under you, you want to talk with them. You know, I go back to the beginning, and, you know, when I was Ruby, my first 3 distributors, Stacy, Kathy, like my mom, we were working together, you know, and talking daily, and it was almost, it's a beautiful thing when it's that small, because you're just working together, you know, and then Yadis joins and we're working with Yadis, you know, and then you know, eventually Kelly joins, or, you know, whatever. Kelly, I guess, was later, but, you know, well, not that much later, a little bit later.
She was the one who told me no. So, you know.
Kelly told you no. So until she finally said yes. Yeah. But, you know, you're working. And so that's what I would say, work with your team. If you're a diamond, that emerald and that ruby, you know, you are working with them and you are talking with them. And that's what I would say is really like the secret recipe, the secret sauce, you know. And sure, now it's like, for me, it's like, I don't know everybody on here, and I hate that, you know, and it was so awesome at the beginning when you do, but really like getting to know your team and working with them. And if you met them off Instagram and, you know, which for me, it helped because most of mine, like I said, I built Warm Market, like it was people I knew or I was acquaintance with, or we may have not been that close with, but all of a sudden we became great friends. Bren Hernandez, think of Bren. I think I met her once or twice at Invictus, but she was one of like the originals, and, you know, working and, you know, planning wrap parties, doing online wrap parties together, just doing things together as a team. I think that was just huge. Because here's the thing. If someone joins and they're by themselves, they're not going to keep with it. So you sign a distributor, the first thing you need to do is get that relationship with them and then get them plugged in. The 84 people on here, they're not quitting this month, but there will be people who quit this month, and they're the ones not on the Zoom. And it happens every month. I can almost tell you whose business is rocking. And even with my leaders, I can see which one of my leaders whose businesses are rocking. A lot of times we're seeing who's getting on the Zooms, who's on the, our monthly eSuite training. Thursday night parties, in case the 84 of you don't know, we have Thursday night parties. We're having one this week. Do you know it was a Thursday night party that caused me to do this business? I joined It Works, had no intention on doing anything but using the products. I got invited to an online party. I read through the event as a new distributor, and that lit a fire. And I thought, holy moly, this chick just earned a $10,000 bonus and a $15,000 bonus. It was a double diamond who hosted the party. I said, if she can do this, why can't I? And I decided I'm doing this crazy business, you know, because I got on that party. I like accidentally plugged into something that lit that fire. And so anyways, the best thing you can do through leaders, I think, is just stay in communication with them. Try to get people plugged in. You can't make them, so don't be hard on yourself. Some are going to quit regardless. Some are going to take off regardless, but you've got that group that you can try to work with.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Trying to tie, because we're getting close to having to end here, but trying to tie some things together. I think, like, I love hearing, like, you run with the runners, you walk with the walkers, but you don't sit with the sitters. So the people who are sitting, don't let them discourage you. And I think so there's kind of two questions. I'll ask one and then we'll have one more, but like, how do you, if people are to quit, what if that discourages you? If you look at that, because you're right, people are going to quit no matter what. So how do you deal with that? Because I think sometimes, to be totally honest, it's easy to look at you guys at Ambassador and go, oh yeah, well, everything's just easy for you there, but you've been through it, you know, and you continue to go through it. And so anyways.
You know, I've had best friends quit, and it stinks. And, you know, and I even have to sometimes have the talk after, like, hey, like, we're still friends. It's okay that you're not doing the business. But like I said, it's not easy to stick with anything. People quit everything. People quit gym memberships. Look at churches, how many actually attend every single Sunday. I'm not saying they're quitters, but how many truly attend, you know? How many people really, you know, everyone's going to train to run, and how many actually run what are they called? What are races called? Marathons. Everyone wants to do a marathon. How many are going to truly run it and finish it? You know, it's just, we quit. Everyone quits. Our kids want to, I want to quit dance. I want to quit. No, you're finishing it out because you started it. So it's easy to quit, especially because for most people, this is a second thing. They're doing it for extra income. They're doing it on the side. So that's going to happen. It hurts. And then every time I look at, well, I'm not going to take it personally because they didn't quit on me, they quit on themselves. But I do evaluate, what could I have done different? Was I, you know, and that's when I really learned color personalities. I can't treat someone who's a yellow like a red. You know, like, I can't, you know, tell Stacy, like, get your butt to work. No, you didn't put in enough this, you know, she's going to cry. I might could say that to Joey, you know, and he's like, I was working, but I'll show you. I'm going to prove wrong. We're going to work harder. And Stacy's like, I'm going to hide under the blanket. Sherry just yelled at me, you know, or whatever. And so I do always look at myself. But I just have to keep going. And I always say, some will, some won't. Who cares who's next, you know? And I hate, it actually might be a pet peeve when people are like, but nobody's working. But I signed those 3DTs, nobody's working. I'm like, well, what about the 3DTs you're supposed to sign this month? Because our steps to success isn't 1 month and you're done. every month. You're bringing in new, fresh blood, 3 new distributors every month. You know why? Because there's a reason only 5% go ruby. Not because more can't, because only 5% are willing to do the work to get there. There's a reason why 2% go diamond. Not because they can't, because only 2% are willing to do the work to get there. So you want to be bringing in new people because you're going to have quitters, in case you didn't know that. It'd be awesome if we didn't. You're going to have distributors quit, executives quit, rubies quit, diamonds quit. You'll probably even have some double diamonds quit, triple. They're probably making too much money to quit, but that could happen, And so, that's just what kind of part of it. But it's not just it works. That's life.
Yeah, you have to understand that, like in my corporate job, if someone quits, it's like, oh, well, they quit on a company. In this, it's a relationship business. So when they quit, you do take it personally. You're like, I'm a horrible leader. I should have done this. I can't tell you how many people Sherry's come in and said, did you see this? And so used to be on our team and is it doing the business or this or that? And she's like, man, what did I do wrong? And the fact is, you can only be you, and you can only lead with the heart that you have and the way that, and if it's not enough, when it's all said and done, it's just simply not enough. And you have to kind of be okay with that. Like like Sherry said, if everyone joined this business and stuck with it, we would all be black diamond in like 3 months, but they don't. And so when you have team members fall off, when you have them go silent on you, it's a time to reflect on yourself as a leader, but it is not a time to dwell on how you failed, because maybe you didn't fail, because there are so many factors into going in: their timing, their life situation, what their spouse has to say. A lot of time, man, do we get that? They're pumped, and then they go talk to their spouse, and then it's silent treatment. Like all those things still happen today, but because it's a relationship business, you take it personally. And so what we have to do as a team and as individuals is, when that happens, you reflect on who you are as a leader, but you do not let it consume where you're going as a leader. Because if you let it consume you, guess what it does? It begins to funnel down to your entire organization, and you're just setting yourself up for failure. If there's one thing we've learned, is we've learned how to shake a lot of things off. Like, we've learned to understand not everyone loves us, not everyone on this team, not everyone off this team, whether we're doing good, whether we're doing bad. There's always going to be people you rub the wrong way for whatever reason. But if we know without a shadow of a doubt, we can stand before the Lord and say, we're leading to the best of our ability and we're giving everything. You have to be able to lay your head on the pillow at night and say, I did all I could, and the Lord's going to honor that. And so we've come to a place where we're okay as long as we feel like the Lord would say, hey, you're okay, instead of like looking to other people for approval, or, yeah, you are good leaders of this. We just have to answer to God every time we go to bed. Did we give our best? Did we do it with the right heart? If we didn't do it with the right heart, did we make it right? And then we go from there, and we do that every day. We make those decisions every day, and we reflect every day as to, are we the leaders we need to be? And so, you know what? You can't take it personally. You got to reflect and then move forward to what's next. So
I love that. And I feel like in the midst of that, part of what you're saying too is the decision to continue to be consistent. And I've heard Sherry say that over and over again. The secret sauce to this business is being consistent. And to me, when I think of being consistent, I go back to when we were in our ministry thing all together, and just hearing that the things you do when you feel like it and when you don't. And I think that's one of the hugest things, because there's going to be things that come that make you feel like not doing this, that could almost be daily. And there's going to be things that are going to make you excited and going to want to go. And the key is just being able to figure out how to keep consistent through all the ups and downs of it. This is the last question I'm going to ask, and it makes me the most excited to ask because I know the answer already. But one of them said, could you please ask John and Sherry to answer if it's possible? Is it possible for just anyone sitting on here, whether they've done nothing in the business, up till this point, whether they did something and maybe they've fallen back, or whether they just started yesterday, is it possible for them to reach something in the next 3 months? Is it possible?
I mean, it's so possible. That's the thing, you guys. And I think, I'm telling you, this group is the cream of the crop. I even look at so many like other top leaders, and I'm like, how did they get here? You know, and it's really what made me have belief after I left conference. I remember Stacy and I watching all these millionaires walk across the stage, and I'm like, okay, we can do this. We're good. You know, I mean, like, it's just normal people. And it's kind of the beauty of network marketing. You might be on here and you're like, I'm so shy. But you know what? You might sign that neighbor. You might sign that, you know, other kindergarten mom who is just knows everybody and she's going to change your business. You know, you might sign that person that is kind of weird, but she signed somebody that took off, and all of a sudden you've got this double diamond leg on your team, you know, or whatever. Like it's so cool because it's so many different kinds of people. Like I could look on here and it's like, I didn't sign Marie. I didn't sign Jennifer. I didn't sign Tracy. You know, it's like somebody who did, I mean, and it just changes your business. And it just can snowball. And so like, yes, I think of Kelly LaVille joined and went diamond in 30 days. Can you do something? Yes. I joined and went diamond in 3 months. Stacy went diamond in 3 months. Like, yes, you can. Right now we're in January. By March, every person on here can be diamond. What do you do to get there? You start signing people, you know? So step one, you plug in like you're doing, show people your store's open, get a list, and it's about asking, whether you're asking with every Wednesday night wrap parties like I had when I joined, whether you're asking, I also messaged 10 people every day, but you're asking people, do they want to try the amazing products? Do they want to try the business? Do they want to make extra money? Because it's like, if you're not signing people, you're not asking people. And even where I am now, like the 2 distributors I signed last month, I asked them. I asked one of them, Deborah, I don't know if she's on, a ton of times. And then one of them, she'd asked me about products, and we went back and forth for months and months and months. And then Jamie, she finally then went from wanting to try the product, Cleanse, I think it was, and then Fat Fighters. And somehow I sent her the Fit 5, and she decided she loved the free thing to join and became a distributor. But it's just, you're asking people. And so, yes, you can get there, you know, stay plugged in. Get accountability with your upline, you know, work with them, you know, ask people to join your team and get a book, get a good self-development book, stay pumped up, and you can.
Yeah. I mean, I love that question. And, you know, I just, you know, the 2 people you're looking at on this Zoom, you know, 11 years ago, we were making $24,000 a year, paying cash for Sherry's school. I was working full-time at the church, full-time with Sprint. We were living in a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. I think rent was like $720 a month. And we were freaking out because we were just married.
I was in school full-time, nannied, and taught dance classes.
and 11 years ago, if you would have said, John, this is going to be your life in 11 years, I would have laughed in your face because I didn't think anything like this was possible. But from a very young age, like, you know, we were just taught that when you're faithful in the small things, that the Lord's going to make you ruler over many things. And, you know, whether it was $24,000 a year, or I remember I was preaching a few weeks ago, my first tithe check was when I worked at Chick-fil-A. It was $13.10. And I'll never forget putting that check in the offering for the very first time, because it was something that I earned. It was something that I worked for. I made $5.25 an hour at the time. And if you're wondering, like, if it's possible, you need to understand that you're looking at 2 people that 11 years ago when we first got married, we didn't think much like this was possible. But we just stayed faithful. We stayed faithful, whether it was $24,000 a year, whether it was $35,000 a year, whether it was $50,000 a year. You know, I'll never forget, and I'm just being fully transparent, at my corporate job, I'll never forget that I got a $20,000 bonus, and I almost fell out of my seat. I called Joey. I think it was the first one, and I was like shaking. But then I look at the bonuses we've earned in this business, which absolutely crushes, you know, that bonus that day. And you want to know if it's possible. Do something every day. Give glory to God in everything that you do. Put him first. Wake up every morning and say, God, whether it's at works, whether it's my marriage, whether it's my family, I give it to you. I relinquish it to you. It was never mine in the first place. Be consistent to work every day. And the word of God does not return in void. It comes back with blessing and with power and with just amazing things. And so if you're questioning if it's possible, I want you to hear it from your leaders who are humbled to be your leaders. And I think I say it at the end of every meeting. I don't know why the Lord chose us to take the step first. I'm so glad that he did, because we wouldn't know so many of you if you're on here. But if you're wondering if it's possible, you've got to wake up tomorrow morning understanding, man, it's a new year. It's a new day. It's a new season. Maybe you've made some mistakes in the past. His mercies are new every morning. And it's time to go to work. It's time to believe that I'm going to be faithful with that one distributor I have. And then I'm going to be faithful with that one loyal customer that I have. And then I'm going to be faithful with the second one the Lord gives me. And then the 20th one. And then the 200th one. And then the 10,000th one. Whether you have one or whether you have 10,000, guess what? The principle is the same. They were the Lord's distributor in the first place. You're just being a steward with what he's placed in your hands. Nothing really changes. You keep the same faithfulness in the small, he's going to give you the big. And so it's absolutely possible if you will wake up every morning with that mentality that I may not have what I want right now, but I'm going to be faithful as it's 100 times what I have in my hands right now. I'm going to give that first, just like I will when it's like 10 times as big. Because what I've learned is that if you won't do it when it's small, you sure as heck won't do it when it's really big. Mm-hmm. And the Lord will not bless anything that you have your hands on if he can't entrust you with what it is in your hand now. He's not going to give you more. He's not going to let you squander it. He's going to say, I want to see that you're faithful with what you have now, and then I'm just going to keep adding it on and adding it on. I want to see that you can love people. I want to see that you can love your distributors. You can love your team, that you can lead with grace. You can lead with mercy, that you can take some criticism every now and then, because I'm trying to teach you things. And so it's absolutely possible. If you'll wake up, you'll give it to God, and then you'll go to work. And 3.5 years later, here we are. But the crazy thing is I still think what God has placed in our hand is just a small thing of what he wants to give us. And I'm ready to experience it, but we're just doing the same things we always done and working the same amount and working hard for it.
And we're just really thankful for both of you guys. You know, I sit here in amazement that God has put us on this team, that he put leaders in front of us that don't just preach it, but live it. You truly live what you're talking about. And I think that's what makes it so beautiful, is because they say that you are a culmination of the 5 people closest to you. And the fact that we get to have you guys as our leaders across Diamond Empire and be that example just blows our mind. This was an incredible just wealth and knowledge. Can't wait to go back and listen to it again. But thank you guys for leading strong. Thank you for loving strong. 2018, we're going to dominate. We're going to dominate 2018, and we just got to go to work and not care what people think. Give glory to God. And thank you guys for being an example of that.
And put in the work. And we always love what ending with not just ending, but kind of giving an action plan. Like, what's the next step? Everybody's sitting here. Now you're sitting here and you're kind of filled up and you have everything going on. What is the next step? What should we do from here? What should we challenge ourselves to do?
I mean, I think every single person on here, you know, I want to see that dream board. I want you to make a dream board. I want you to do one to post online, and then one that is tangible, that you have to touch, that whether it's, you know, cardboard and, you know, magazine, and write the stuff on there that you see. I think doing both of them, because we're in such a social media world, get that posted. You know, we all run our business on social media. And so post that tonight. That's what I would say tonight. Get that 2018 dream board and put some dreams on there for this year. And, you know, I know that I've started to see some of them posted on Facebook, and Melissa posted something on Diamond Empire with hers, and some people posted, but do you want to make a post, Stacy, or something? And we make it for, and let's do it like some sort of dream post. I think you know, if you haven't posted it yet, get it posted. I posted mine yesterday, and then I want you to make one. And I know get some friends together. If you're like, I just joined, I have no distributors, perfect. Sign up your first 2 distributors this week, and the 3 of you make that dream board. I know our team training that we do in Dallas the 3rd Sunday of every month, we're making dream boards at it this January. And so do that, because it's just, it's crazy then to watch those things, you know, get checked off. And last thing, actually, the last action thing I would say is, and also I want you to ask yourself tonight and think, how has my mind been? What have I been thinking over my business, over my life? Have I been thinking, man, this is going to be a prosperous year. Man, this business is going to explode. The best is yet to come. I'm so like, or have you been thinking negative thoughts? Has the enemy been, maybe whispering things in your ear? Because Mark always says the most important, what is it?
So how many ever inches between your
Yeah,
ears?
6 inches.
8 inches.
8 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most important, 8 inches is between. What is it he says?
Something about the distance. The biggest distance you'll have to clear is the.
Yeah.
8 inches between.
Yeah, the 8 inches between your ears, whatever it is. And so if negativity comes, if the enemy tries to get you down, if something, take that thought captive, throw it away and say, no, I'm only thinking like things of God. Like I'm thinking, I'm excited. Don't stop saying you can't sign distributors or no one's working or you can't sign customers. Yeah, when you're speaking that, oh my goodness, words have the power to give life or death. So start speaking things. So evaluate, what have you been speaking and thinking, and let's change it.
Yeah, I love that quote, that be the change you want to see. And you can say all that you want to say, but be the change you want to see in your team. It starts with the way that you think, the way that you live, the way that you work. What change you want to see in your team, be that, go for it. It's a new year. You just got a wealth of knowledge dropped on you, some whiz bombs dropped on you. Listen to this again while you make your dream board. How about that?
Yeah, and with that, I would get, like what John and Sherry said, get your dry erase marker, write some things that the Word of God says about who you are, and write those right on your mirror. So when you're up, the first thing you look at in the morning, you see it and you start believing.
Come on.
Because that's the first key. And I think that's just what you guys are so good at, is believing it, seeing it, believing it, working for it, and praying for it. Just going for it that way.
We're excited, team. It's going to be an amazing year. We got a few things up our sleeve in the coming days for Diamond Empire. We won't share with you on the Zoom, but be watching the page, because we're going to have a couple announcements that are really exciting going into conference. So we've been brainstorming a little bit. So
and we need to take a picture, right?
Yeah, let's take one.
Okay. John, are you being or am I being
You're doing it, because I'm not on my computer where it's easy. I'm on Sherry's.
Okay. I got to press. Oh, there it is. Okay, ready? Y'all.
Show your faces.
Show your faces. We don't have black screens on here. Look at these.
Maxine, where's that face?
There we go. Okay.
Here, let's do one. We're number one team.
Yeah, do it. Okay, Joy, are you holding up your? Okay, 1, 2. Uh-oh. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Look at this number one team. Here we go.
Love y'all.
Possible.
Dominate 2018.
Let's go. Let's do it. We're ready.